Spider-Man Far From Home was a dope Spider-Man movie. Yes, I said it. People were like, Spider-Man, this is a terrible, and Marvel's doing a terrible job with Spider-Man. Let me tell you, I think they're doing a great job. Why? Because the reason why I like Spider-Man is because Spider-Man is relatable. Like, I can see myself doing what Spider-Man would do most of the time. It's outside of the powers. I mean, I got a symbiote, but that's another story. Now, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, what Marvel's doing with him, they're like making him like a real kid, making him like a real person, and I dig that. This to me is like the first time we've ever seen Spider-Man on the big screen, and like I can fully believe that's actually a real kid. Like, that's a real person. I get it. He's not doing these weird pussyfoot stuff that no one would ever, example, Spider-Man 2 is a movie people love. This is the best superhero movie of all time, yes! And it's whatever. But you can't sit here and tell me this man is in love with this woman, this wonderful woman who's an actress and has a show on Broadway, and he's Spider-Man, and he gets there. He gets to the theater late, so he can't get in, so that's it. That's it. What? You got spider powers? You can't get in to see the woman you love perform on the stage on Broadway? You getting turned away? You ain't gonna sneak, you Spider-Man, you ain't gonna climb your way up the building, get in through the ceiling, get in somehow. You ain't gonna do that. That ain't real. I can't sit it. That's not Peter Parker. That's not Spider-Man. Spider-Man love this. He gonna make it. He gonna figure it out. He already bought the ticket. Ain't like he's stealing. He gonna figure it out. You telling me? But no, whatever. This Peter Parker, I feel like he has likes and dislikes. He likes Star Wars. He doesn't like white women. I'm joking. That was a joke. But the point is, he, to me, is a kid. I get it. Like, he's not. And also, he grew up in a world where Iron Man exists, where Captain America exists, right? He got powers. Of course, he's gonna look up to Iron Man, and especially Iron Man, a scientist. Of course, he's gonna look up to him. So for me, it's not un-Spider-Man like for him to look up to Iron Man, right? The thing is, if you've been watching my channel from the beginning, I talked about when they first released the trailer. You can go back on my channel, look all the way back, because listen, if it up to me, and you know what I'll do. I tell you that stuff that nobody else say. I get to the point. Spider-Man, from that first trailer in Civil War, when we saw him, I knew that he was going to look up to Tony Stark as a father figure. The video on this channel was called Iron Man will be a father figure to Spider-Man or Peter Parker in the MCU, something like that. You can find it on my channel. I've been talking about this since way back. Now, the people talk about Marvel, what they've done is they've made Spider-Man Iron Boy. Like, he looks up to Iron Man, and Iron Man made his own suit, and he made Spider-Man, and all that in a bag of chips. Like, and I get it. That ain't, Spider-Man made his own suit. I get it. But I think the whole point, and what people are missing, what they're missing, and what they're watching the movies from this framework of Peter Parker looks up to Iron Man, and where's Uncle Ben, and this, that, and the third, these things that are core to Spider-Man, people feel are core to Spider-Man. And I think where they're missing is that what's core to Spider-Man is the fact that he is a person that ultimately, outside of being super smart and having these spider powers, he's a person. Like, Tony Stark is a douchebag. Tony Stark is a douche. Captain America is a goody two-shoes. Thor is a god. Hulk is a super genius scientist who turns to this monster. Peter Parker is a person with powers. And he's a genius as well, but he's a person with powers. That's it. He's a genius who is a person with powers. We can all relate to his story because he goes through things that we all go through. And for me, I can't get mad at the fact that a kid who grew up in a time where people have powers, where people are way larger than life, where people are at points in which he aspires to be at. Like he aspires to be like Tony Stark. And it makes sense because Tony Stark is a super genius scientist. And he noticed Peter and he wanted to help Peter. It makes sense within the confines of the story. But people want to place like Peter Parker within the shadow of Iron Man, when the whole point of what they're doing is to show Spider-Man is not Iron Man, and that he eventually will be greater than Iron Man. That's the entire point. And from the very beginning, I saw that's where they were gonna go. Tony Stark literally was an ass, and he gets Peter Parker, and he's like, yo, like, you know, I want to show you, like, I want to take you to Germany. I want you to, like, I made you this suit and all that. And the whole point is for Peter to realize, you know, like, I actually am good. I actually am capable. I actually can do this. I don't need to be like Tony. I am not Tony. I am Peter. I am Spider-Man. I think that's the whole point of the franchise. From when we saw Homecoming, like, you don't need the suit. You are Spider-Man. Like, Far From Home. That's the whole point, right? That's why I love the film. Now, some things I don't like about the movie. There's some points there's some things that I feel were cut from the film, and some things that would make the movie, the story of the movie, a lot better. For example, there are some points within the film where some characters, and one character in particular, is acting a certain way. The character like shifts and begins acting a particular way. And for me as an audience member, and also viewing it just in my mind and the way the actor is acting, there's something missing. It's almost like something was cut. Like there's this shift of there's just a shift. And I'm like, okay, I see what the actor is doing, but there's something else that came before, or there's a middle ground that's missing. And I'm not going to talk about who that actor is or what it is in this video. I'll talk about it when I do my live stream. But there's something that's missing. Like, I see what the actor is doing. The actor is like going to levels that I see. But there's something there's some buildup or something within the character that we didn't get the chance to see, that I think was cut from the film. Because there was a lot of scenes that were cut from the film. Also, the relationship between Peter and MJ, within the trailer, we see that they both like each other, or that Peter likes her. Within the film, I think that they handled their relationship very, very well and very realistically. Why? Because these are high school students, and a lot of people are going to, I haven't seen that many reviews on the film, but I'm sure people are going to go, oh my God, their relationship. But I think it's handled very realistically for high school students, and I think also that's going to be something that's going to be talked about later on in the franchise, because again, this is only the second movie. We're gonna have a whole bunch more films, and all these characters we're gonna see them all grow. So I think that's going to be a part of the long going franchise, you know, and I think it's cool. I didn't like there's some moments that happen in the movie that I'm like, all right, that's like some kiddie, like cartoonish. Like there's a whole sequence on a bus where Peter accidentally does something, and it's like this triggering event of like, it just, the way that Peter gets out of this is so cartoonish. I was like, but that was like the only thing in the movie that made me go, it's very cartoonish, like the way he got out of this thing on a bus. I felt like Mysterio was dope, but there were some things that were just, Mysterio was dope. I loved the action sequences, but there were some things that I was just like, what are we missing? What are we missing? What is the story missing? There were some things missing, I think, that really would have helped not just the character, but also the story. But all in all, I think we got a really good Spider-Man film. I think it's true to the core of who Spider-Man is and what they're trying to tell, what this interpretation of Spider-Man is. I think it's true to that, and I think it's more true to it than previous carnations of the character, previous film carnations of the character. I think that the Marvel, they know what Spider-Man, who Spider-Man is, and they can tell that story without it being the traditional Uncle Ben present, without it being the traditional Aunt May is old, without it being the traditional things that we always see. I think the financial aspect of Peter Parker is very important, and I think that comes into play, and I think it will come into play, and I think it's just not coming into play the way people have seen it come into play. Thus, they're upset and up in arms. But I think they're telling an interesting, compelling story, and I look forward to seeing where they go, because this ending, I was like, they could take it so many different places, and it's like so many. This did not end the way people thought it would. This movie was not the way people thought. I guess a lot of stuff that was gonna happen, but I didn't guess that ending. There was no way I could have guessed that ending. That ending, that's the most shocking thing I have ever experienced pertaining to Spider-Man in media, outside of the comics, but pertaining to Spider-Man in media, especially film. That was the most shocking thing ever. No one could have called that one. So they can take it so many different ways. I'm very excited seeing where they're gonna go, and I think everything is looking up, man. Marvel, y'all, dog. I don't think people are gonna care about the Avengers and things like that, unless they bring in star power now. But as a fan, as a comic book fan, as a Spider-Man fan, I'm hooked. As it pertains to the Spider-Man story, I'm hooked. Let's keep it going. I'm ready for the next Spider-Man movie. I'm ready. They said it's gonna be like Harry Potter. Let's do it. We're gonna have the next movie, he gonna be a junior. Next movie, he gonna be a summer. Next movie, he gonna be a senior. Next movie, summer before senior. Then he go to college. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready. I hope y'all ready. Let me know what y'all think, though. If you agree with me, let me know in that comment section below. As always, I am Venom2Million, thanking you for watching. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. Conversation down there. I will be down there. Follow me on the Twitter, Venom2Million. That is all I have to say. A spoiler. We're going to do a spoiler. Not a spoiler video. A spoiler. A live stream. Tonight. Yes. Tonight. I'm filming this on Thursday, July 4th. So the live stream is going to happen later on July 4th. If you're watching this and the live stream has already happened, go watch the live stream, because your boy be going down live. And I'll be talking to y'all too. And I'm going to be dropping some gems. All right, y'all. That's it. Peace. Have a good one. Peace, y'all. Have a good one.